Hi Collective, welcome to the channel, Cosmic Divine Dreamer. Hi everyone. So, let's see what comes out in this beautiful transmission, I'm going to call this, for today. So, I have been trying for the last couple hours just to quiet my children down so I could calm down so I could get a reading, because I've had so much going on. I've been calming myself down and my children too, but then I realized, like, oh my gosh, like, I feel their energy levels are coming back up because they've been going through a lot of spiritual warfare and attacks too. And so that's clearing out. But then I realized that I have a family of star children, mind you. That's why they're all unique and different. And yeah, that's why they were under heavy attack too, because people wanted them not to be that way. Right? Anyways, and then I realized that definitely they feel the energies that are coming through and the massive upgrades and ascensions, and not to mention, like, star children, like, they don't do good with lots of electronics and dyes and the food and all of that. And because of our current situation, that's like their only fun right now, is all the electronics, being in a small confined space, and all of the gifts. I mean, we get gifted like every day or every other day, which is all sorts of treats and everything, and it's like I can't say no, and then they just keep coming for my children. You know, and it's so cute, right? But anyway, so it's funny, I'm feeling about talking about this, because you're going to be finding me talking more and more about these star children as yeah, all the new diamonds are coming. So, it's really exciting. You know, it's time to work with our star children. There's a lot of healing and everything is definitely underway. Okay, so what I was getting at is that, the portal. So this 9/9 portal is very, very powerful, right? That we had for September 9th, but there's really 3 portals. There's something very significant about 3s, right? I've been seeing 3s everywhere, 333. I know it has to do with the triangle to, there's something very, very significant, right? And also the keys of the universe, right? 3 unlocks a lot of things. Start with a frequency of 3, right? So on September 9th, we had our first portal, and now we're having our second portal tomorrow on the 18th, which in numerology, 1 and 8 is 9. So second portal, and then our third portal of September is going to be on the 27th. So it's a very, very powerful time with these portals. This is like the second portal and these energies, right? And the big one is, I feel, starting to really to integrate as, I mean, whenever big emotional trauma and releases and triggers and blockages are released, then this integration can happen. And I guess what is going on with my children is that they're purging out and they're letting go of this toxic energy. And I've been working a lot with them now that my energy level has restored itself. And I've been healing and purging a lot of these readings. They're so cute. You hear them, shh, quiet, quiet. They know that I told them that we will have some fun and we will go out in a little bit once mommy can do her reading, right? So, they're trying to be good for this. So if you hear a lot of chaos in the background with my kids, that is why, right? And maybe you're noticing this in your children, because if you're guided to this channel, my channel is protected. And it is for the 144, Starseeds, Earth Angels, Light Workers. I mean, it's going to be for a lot more, but really that's why why my channel is protected, right? Because you need to be at a high vibrational frequency, or you know, or get whatever to get in alignment with this reading, except for my enemies that have found it. That's why, you know, I was told to bring this channel over here, but it's like, I don't want to give up on this, but just, you know, there's going to be more channels to come. But I'm not interlinking them. But you will be guided to those other channels, because that's what Source does. So just trust that, right? Because there are, of course, the enemies, and you know, and because I'm supposed to work with them too, as finding out that's very much what we do. We stir the demons in people, and that's why they're so drawn and can't let go. And sometimes people don't even realize that they're, in fact, that's why they're so drawn to me and my light. It's that the entities that are within them, right? That are trying to, anyway. So that could be why you have certain people that are drawn to you. So just be very protective of your energy. What doesn't feel right to you, you need to dismiss it and let it go. it was interesting too, as I felt to bring the Little Prince out, and then I was like, you know what, I don't even need to use this deck anymore. This is the deck that I got around Christmas time, where there was a lot of spiritual warfares and attacks going on, and this is where a lot of enemies was revealed to me, that all of my loved ones were getting embodied with entities, getting used against them. So definitely been working with the enemy, and I talk about that in this deck significantly, or specifically. It's this innocent little boy, and this is really big for the children being used, because for a lot of you, your children were being used. Their energy levels were being depleted and things like that. They weren't able to use their gifts. So there's this big thing with the star children, right? Getting healed. These portals are very, very significant for that. But there's a very significant card in here where I believe it's the sun, where he's dancing with the fox, but he won't fully give his hand to the fox. There it is. See, it's like he's playing the game, but he's fully not giving his hand, because he fully is not trusting, right, of this devil, right? So for some of you, like, you had to play the game. You had to know when it was time for cycles to close out, because, you know, a true magician doesn't reveal its tricks and lets these things, uses how to alchemize. So that's what I've been doing. I've been learning how to alchemize, and all of these attacks that have been going against me, when they affect me, when I feel the swords hit me, I take that as a trigger for me for something that I need to heal, and also for another thing, I can take that pain and I can release it, and now I can use that to relate to somebody else, to heal somebody else. So all of these attacks, even though a lot of it's just been psychological and it's been to place and pull on abandonment, and even though some of these things might not have really happened because the seeds were planted there and I felt it, I still purged out emotions and feelings, and I'm going to be able to relate with people and heal people that have now went through those experiences. So thank you for that. So yeah, I have very much used these things to level up, right? So yeah, finally realizing it makes it a lot easier to release the pain and stuff. When you realize that sometimes people, it's the entities that are within them, which it's because they were weak and they let the enemy get into them, right? And so a lot of times people don't even realize, in fact, that they are getting puppeteered. So anyway, so I felt guided to this very beautiful deck that I got, Mystical Moments, which is, I got it thinking about the twin flames, but it doesn't even matter, because I'm not going to get into the twin flame journey and all of that stuff, because there are evil twins, and yes, twins can very much get used against you, and as mine did. So there's that. Mine turned got corrupted by the devil, because he just wanted to, he was just in his shadow side too much. The pain was too hard to bear, whatever, for whatever reason. So that's why it's really important that you don't get focused too much on the twin flame journey, because even your own twin can get compromised by the devil and used against you. So, yeah, 3 of Cups. Look at that. Celebrating, having a good time. This is very beautiful. So anyways, I got guided to this new deck. I feel it is trumping this deck. I feel that it's done playing the enemy's games. So I'm setting it aside. But I may feel guided to it for another reading if you get another devil that comes in. Because sometimes it's good to know what your enemies are up to. And sometimes your enemies can be, you know, they're the ones that can figure things out for you. They've often have showed ways, weaknesses and things like that. It's just like whenever I go somewhere, I immediately get in the mindset, like if I'm going to be staying there for the night and things like that, like I immediately think like, all right, where's the not safe point? If somebody was to break in, or if something's not safe, like what would happen? Just so I'm aware of it, just so I know it. You know, kind of getting that it's okay to use that criminal mind a little bit, just for protection purposes, right? Maybe, who knows, I won't have to embody that energy anymore, because I won't have to worry about getting attacked, or because I have been through it all. I have been, I don't want to get into all of that, but I'm just saying, like, I've been attacked, I've been held against my will, trapped to places, I've been locked in rooms, and I've had a lot of things happen to me, right? But it's all led to me to get me to learn to be stronger, protect myself. And yeah, they left wounds. I used to be scared to walk to my car at night, you know, or go outside when it was dark for a while. I had to hear all that stuff, right? So yeah, I don't know where I'm going with all this. Whatever I pour out could trigger something for you, and if it does, it's letting you know that you can overcome it. Because you just release it, right? Because you don't hold on to fear. When you actually hold on to fear is when you actually bring things to you, because then the enemy sends it to you. It's kind of like, what's that movie where it's like they smell fear? If you have any bit of fear, they come to you. It's really what it's like, because if you're thinking about it, you're giving an energy and you're going to pull it to you. So even these big fears that you have, it's going to make you go through it, because ultimately you're not supposed to have fear. You don't have fear if you know you believe, if you know you are one with divine source, God, right? You trust God, divine source, to protect you, guide you, does. That's why don't even get me started and let's walk around with things on our faces because we can't breathe the fresh air. Oh my Lord. Made me so angry. Yeah, let's deplete our immune systems. You know, that's keeping us safe. Let's have us breathe in our own carbon dioxide. Okay, I'm not even going to get going on that. Or wear antennas on our faces. Okay, I'm going to stop. All right. Or keep us all separated. And okay, let's get back into this. I've already been told. All right, so we're upgrading here, right? So let me get some cards. Let's get some cards. Page of Pentacles. Ah, look at how these cards flip around. So beautiful. It's like magic, right? That's why I always like you guys to see the cards, right? King of Cups. This beautiful. This deck's got additional cards. It's got a feminine and a masculine of each of the kings. And this is the feminine King of Cups. So this could be a feminine that's really loving, caring, kind, but in her boss-like energy. Full card energy. Yeah, higher level of ascension for sure. New beginning. Ah, Three of Cups came right out. Celebrating, having a good time. Yeah, look. Again, there's a lot of challenges and obstacles, but look at this. Look at that hoop, right? To me, this is representing a portal. Look at these, and there's these three beautiful ladies here. For some of you, this is showing me like interdimensional travel I'm getting. And like merging timelines coming together. Maybe they're peeping each other. Maybe they're finding ways to merge. This is beautiful. Six of Cups. Wow, look. Look at this card, how unique it is. Look at how large she is and looking at those children. I'm getting this is like you're realizing how, like, how important you are. You're looking back at your past. You're really looking back at it and you're realizing that it's like so far away, and I'm getting this energy as it's like you could literally be going back to your past and kind of like looking down upon it and redoing the memories, finding ways to like say like you like here's a for instance of something that was hurtful with me, very much so, is it's like my parents on my graduation, like they didn't even come with me for my ceremony, and they were like, we're gonna show up, right, we'll be there. And I went with my friends or whatever, and I remember like I was so surprised that when me and my girlfriend, it was so funny, of course we were naughty. I used to be a smoker. I've been smoke free for 6 years now. Actually no, it's been longer than that. 5, 6, 7 years. Right? Because it started as a teen, because they did. 14:04 on the clock I just looked at. But anyway, like, so me and my best friend, we were like, let's run out and have a cigarette real quick, because we're going to be in that gymnasium for like ever, right? So we snuck out, and we were at the beginning of the line, right? Because my last name, I guess they went off of me, right? Being Connor. Anyway, so we went up there, and we seen everybody was in the room, so we ran out to sneak and have a cigarette and stuff, and all of a sudden, like, the music, we heard the music from outside, I kid you not, like, we would run inside, get up front, and I remember I was so excited, like, we got right there just in time, and as they were walking, I seen my parents, and I remember I was so surprised, because I really didn't think that they were even going to make it, because they had missed out on a lot of my things, and I don't know, I just didn't think it was that important for them, or whatever, so I was really surprised to see them there, but anyway, I never got to say anything because I just walked by real fast or whatever. And then after, you know, everybody got their ceremonies and stuff, and then you get to go sit with family, like, I went looking for them and I couldn't find them. And I was like, they have to be here. They made it here. Like, they wouldn't have just left or whatever. You know, like, where are, well, maybe they're outside having a cigarette, I thought. So I went outside, and my best friend's mom actually came and found me. And she gave me a big hug, told me how proud she was of me. And she said, I want you to come with us. I'm like, well, I have to find my parents. And she told me, your parents already left, you know. And I was like, they already left? Did you just see them leave? And they were like, no, they left right after. They'd seen you get your diploma right after that. They left them. And so I was like, wow, literally, like, we were right at the beginning. So it was the very, very beginning of it. And it just, I remember I was just so upset by that. Like, it really hurt me because it, you know, it was like I never even got, like, the thank you, like, the like, you know, like, they didn't even acknowledge it and dipped out on it. And I was like, and really it wasn't even that long of a ceremony. It went by really fast or whatever. But I remember, and then it made it worse because then when I went home to find them, and I was so upset, and I was like, guess what? I am not staying here. 16 as they say that. I'm like, I am not staying here tonight, you know. And I was like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to party, I'm going to go drink, I'm going to drive, and I was just so upset saying all of these things. And they were like, well, you graduated. And I graduated at 17. And they were like, you're done now, so now you have to start paying rent, you know. And it was just like, do what you want. You know, we don't have control over you anymore. You're on your own, baby. And I was like, wow. So literally, like, I stayed out all night, went to so many parties and everything. I don't even think, I think I was kind of reckless, but I'm not condoning that. I didn't drive drinking, but my friend that we were going around with did. But anyway, yeah. And I remember it was the first night too that I was literally like out all night, and they didn't even look for me. They didn't care. And I was like, wow. So that left like a huge wounding. And I realized that, like, I kind of get resentful for, like, everybody that has their own graduation parties, because I never had a graduation party. Like, my parents didn't even buy, like, my senior pictures. Like, I remember my friends felt bad, and my friends, like, put up money, or they were given a gift of pictures. Like, either way, they paid for me to get my own senior pictures done, because I didn't have, and things like that. Like, it wasn't even a thing. Like, so anyway, like, every year, like, when I see that graduation stuff, like, I would always hold, not resentment, but it would, like, make me sad, you know, even when I drive by now, well, not now, but it's like, if I'd see the, you know, the big signs in the yards, the graduation parties, like, it was always, like, a wounding or whatever. So clearly this is something that's purging out, because whenever you feel to talk about things, there are different things that are coming out. Like, I don't even know how I got, because I was telling you, it's one of the first memories that I've noticed that I've done this, is that, so instead of going back, like, I've had to reprogram my mind. So I go back and I think about my graduation, and I think about, like, I envision what I would have wanted. You know, my parents staying for the whole thing, them thanking me, them hugging me, them, you know, saying, let's go to dinner. So what would be what would have been the restaurant we would have went to? What would we have done? You know, kind of plant that vision there, you know. And it's kind of like taking control. So it's like I'm extracting out the things that happen, and I'm letting go of the feelings, and, you know, and knowing that the reason, it wasn't that they weren't proud, it was just that they didn't know how to be a parent to me at that time, because maybe their graduation, I don't even know, to tell you the truth, how my parents' graduations went. But my mother probably didn't have a graduation party because apparently her parents abused her. I don't know. But for whatever reason, there was some sort of reason why they couldn't acknowledge my graduation and be proud of me and things like that. So, but it was woundings, right? Or maybe it's because they were filled with, you know, entities, right? Because my parents were sadistic narcissists, you know, but I think it was more like a curse in our family. And I don't really know if it was chosen, if they just embodied so much demonic forces, it took control over them. So that's what the entity, I don't know, right? But we're not going to get into all of that. But it's just these little things like reprogramming the minds. But see, it's going to help somebody, right? And maybe it'll, even if you're not on the end of it where you didn't have somebody acknowledge your graduation, because I know that's like a really big accomplishment, is graduating and everything. And a lot of people can have wounds around that, but it's like, even if you did have a part or a family, like you know, there's some people out here that have been struggling not even having that, right? Or maybe this is going to reach people that, you know, all those woundings and everything. If you didn't have your parents at your graduation, they weren't there for you, wasn't a big deal. Like, you know, be proud of yourself. So this is where you're looking back, you know, it's, I don't know, so clearly this is a wounding that I needed to get out, but it's, somebody's going to come across this where this story is going to help somebody too. That's why I used to shut this stuff down and be like, why do you want me to talk about my graduation right now? I'm in the middle of doing this reading and this is just a 6 of Cups. Why are you having me talk about this? For whatever reason they are. So this is where I'm learning just to go with it. That's why you never know what you may get out in my readings, right? So schooling is a really big thing for somebody, right? Accomplishment. I don't know. All right, let's keep going. Wow, look, I've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups here. And this is another feminine of the Queen, right? So we have the King and the Queen of Cups, both in feminine energy, the feminine King and the Queen. So this is somebody that is very loving. This is somebody that is embodying the King of Cups energy I'm getting. This is somebody that's had to be very tough. 2200 now. 2202, picking up on the twos. This is somebody that's had to be very tough. Fight for their love. Wow, look, Judgment. Judgment's being called on something. And the Queen of Pentacles, somebody's very resourceful. Look at these royalty cards here. Court cards, that's what I'm getting, royalty. 9 of Pentacles, there's been a disguised, 2 of Cups. To the 10 of Pentacles, pages, there's been like a disguise something. Hold on, let me see what I'm feeling here. See that 9 of Pentacles, but it's like camouflaged. But what I'm getting is like there was like a fake. There was a fake knight, a fake horse. Somebody had you sitting up on a disguised horse. It looks like a horse, right? It looks like a knight, but it is but leaves. It's not real. So you weren't going anywhere. Wow, this was a lover that did this. Like I said, I'm getting for some of you, this was your twin that was working against you. That's why you felt the love. They knew how to use your love because they were so much like you. They knew what you liked. They knew what you wanted to feel. Maybe they had strong psychic connections with you. So they knew how to treat you. They knew how to like put you up on a pedestal. They know how to show you love, right? But you weren't going anywhere because the enemy was holding them back. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles here and Page of Swords, but this was overseen. Wow. Divine seen what was going on. See, yeah, look. The Sun card energy there. You couldn't see something clearly. You were only half seeing it because the bird is covering half. You're only half seeing it. So what I'm getting is okay, sorry, I have to take out. I was getting something coming in my head. I gotta take that out. Anyway, oh my god. Swords is so beautiful how they do things. Now this deck, I've only used it a few times. I literally got it for my birthday, or it was supposed to be my anniversary present. I got these decks in July. I got 2. Yeah, I got it on my birthday. It's a birthday present to myself. A deck that I always wanted. So it was July. I haven't used it that much, right? Because I know that I've been going through a challenging cycle with my twin. and realizing my twins were getting used against me. So do you think I've wanted to use this deck? No. So I don't really know all of the cards that are in it. So I'm going to show you something. Look at what's on top of that Page of Swords. Do you see him? He is standing there in a cap and gown. This is how beautiful the universe is, and you know, they set me up. They set me up. I didn't know I was gonna see this. It's letting you know to trust what you feel. To say, to do, you really have to trust what you're intuitively feeling, because for a lot of you, these things are purging out. So you have to feel it. A lot of times these things come out and you may tell yourself that, no, why is this coming out right now? Why do you want me to talk about this? Because sometimes they will align you with people to talk about them. That's something being an earth angel. It's one of my gifts. Like, I've had so many people that will just come tell me their story, and it's like they spilled over, and they're like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't tell you how many times these things happen. Like, I'll give you one example of one thing that touched my heart. I just threw that. They're so cute. I just have to tell you one thing that touched my heart, and look at what I flipped off my desk. She is playing something, and it looks like a heart. That was not even intentional. See, the source does these things. So what I was going to say is that this moment I remembered is one of those moments where I got a confirmation, like, yep, I'm definitely an earth angel. Because I've gone back and forth. I've told myself, if I was an earth angel, why would I go through all of these things? You know, why wouldn't my parents have seen my beautiful light and love that I was giving them? Why wouldn't? So I've been getting a lot of revelations and a lot of realizations and downloads and all this stuff confirming me. So anyway, one of these moments is that I felt to tell you that touched my heart when I realized it, is that, like, you even turn your enemies, and people just don't understand, because a lot of times you get enemies because they're jealous of your light. They will come at you because they think you're being fake, because you're so high vibrational of love and light that they just look at you like even they could think that you disguise your voice. You know, like, nobody talks with such a sweet voice like that. Nobody is that nice. Like, it's just fake. And it's also because the light irritates the demons within them. So they see you and they're just like, like, it's just so disgusting to them or whatever. So a lot of times people are envious, like, they don't know why, or they're drawn to somebody, and then they see them doing these beautiful things, and, you know, it's just like, why, or whatever. Like, that's why. But anyway, so one of these things where somebody reached out to me, it showed me how powerful I am, is because it was, when I was renting a house, the owner of the house, we originally had realtors, and we got the home through the realtor, and they had nothing to do with it whatsoever, but then they decided to let the realtors go and kind of take control. So they had been out a lot of money, so they were really kind of upset with how things had been handled. And the realting company really put us into the house because, like, we didn't get approved for the house at the time. My boyfriend's mother had actually tried to get us approved into the home because, finding out now, you know, she really wanted to get her son looked after and taken care of, which I had done. Anyway, so since we didn't get approved for the home, she paid up for the entire lease term. Just paid it all in full. So that's also where I got trapped, because I felt like, wow, this is so beautiful. Like, this is, you know, stability for me. It was after I was coming out of a very insecure time, because it was the last time I was living in hotels, and then had gotten stable for like 9 months, and then was back in hotels again. Now this is my third time. It's going to be the last time. Anyways, so the owners really didn't want to deal with us. They kind of were snobby, because they were like, psh, you know, like, they paid up for the entire year or whatever. Like, who does that? You know, so these people are entitled, like, they don't have to pay rent or whatever. So they were just kind of snooty with me, and especially knowing that I was a stay-at-home mom with my children and stuff, and just jealous of that. I don't know, whatever. It's what I used to think. So anyway, sorry, there's my children I warned you about in the beginning. So anyway, like, they didn't really like to fix things, and I'm very nice to everybody until you come at me the wrong way, or if you come at my children. And one day she came at my daughter like in the wrong way about cleaning something, and I had some choice words with her about not coming at my daughter, because I've always been one where like I was treated as a slave, like growing up, like having to do all the cleaning, everything, all the house duties, all the chores, all that. I felt like I was Cinderella. I never wanted to do that to my children. So me being a stay-at-home mom, like I do all of the cleaning and things like that, so I really didn't like her coming at my daughter. So I'd had some choice words with her. Well, anyway, what I'm getting at is that we had this animosity, like we really didn't like, and they'd come, and eventually like we had fulfilled our lease and stayed in the house or whatever, where we got to where we were paying rent. So each month they would come by and get the rent check. So they didn't ever want to see me. Words weren't wanting to be told to me. But after my boyfriend had left and we weren't together anymore, I stayed in the home to fulfill the lease. I felt that was something that I needed to do. I needed to stay in the home. I didn't want to, so I found a way each month to make the rent to stay in the home, because I didn't want that to have an eviction go against him and all that stuff. I wanted to honor that anyway. So they never talked to me about how nice it was to take over, to keep having the money, because sometimes I'd have to give it to them in partial payments, because I had to find a way to redo everything anyway. They were very quiet with me after years, never opened up. But then one day she came and to the door and got the rent, and it was when I was paying the second portion a couple days later, and even I was like, I'm sorry, this is going to be the last time, because I'm going to get myself together. I don't like worrying, and I don't like having you guys worry. So, and all of a sudden she had just started crying to me and telling me how how much she appreciates everything and doesn't always show it and everything, and that her husband was going through a lot of medical conditions and the problems that they were having and the struggles with their finances and everything, and just unloaded everything on me. And she was just like, I don't even know why I'm telling you all of this stuff. Like, I'm just so sorry or whatever. And, it allowed me to, I realized, for me to let go of all of that anxiety and resentment, worry, and everything that I was having, towards them and everything. And it was just like, it's one of those moments where I was just like, wow, like that's just really neat. Like, through everything that we had went through, just that sharing of a hard time, how it just like let it all go or whatever. I don't know why I'm fun to explain all of the story. You take little bits out of it, maybe if you're having struggling with paying your bills or your money, something, maybe that's a little sign for me, because it's something that I'm running into, because now kind of the same thing, like, oh, there goes my boyfriend with gone again, not helping you. Here's Crystal to figure it out again, how to secure everything for her and her kids. But so one of those, yeah, it is, it's one of those things, because they're telling me like it always works out. I always find a way, even if and it's helpful for some of you, maybe if you need to pay things like in piece, don't think just because you don't have all of the bill money that you can't pay a bill. Sometimes you can call up and give them a little bit and they're fine with that. And people, maybe if you share your story, people will be helpful of that. So there's that. Yeah, they're having me share all of this stuff. But where I was going, let me go back to this, is that it was such a moment, like I got that confirmation. And I even knew it as she was saying it. I was like, oh my gosh. So even amongst like all the projections, she feels the love that I have being an earth angel, and that vulnerability of opening up. And, I took all of that in, because that's what us earth angels do, or transmuters. And I took in all of that pain and I gave her love and light and healing. And then I can go release all of that and feel all of it, so it, it's a beautiful thing, right? And if you guys want to know the end of the story, like, because of COVID and prices having to go way up, I couldn't stay in the home, and I left knowing I wasn't going to be able to get approved or come up with a higher security deposit, pay everything. But we left with, no eviction and everything. So yeah, I was happy to fulfill that. So that's how that ended. But anyway, so, wow, yeah, like this, you really got to trust what you feel, right? And if you feel to open up or share, or if you've ever felt that way, that you've told somebody you didn't know very well, a personal problem or whatever, a lot of times you're in the presence of an earth angel. Now, we have got a lot of earth angels that are here, but angels can get into people at any time too. There's been many times along my path where I'm like, angel just got in them to deliver me a message. You know, like, I'm going to explain another one I'm feeling to talk about. It was a really, really hard time. I think it was my son's birthday, or it was a significant time where I was really missing my daughter, and I was really figuring out if I had done the right thing by giving her a little intervention and sending her to stay with family, because my children were fighting so much. My children were fighting so much that I couldn't, I had to separate my two oldest, right? And they needed an intervention. They needed to break their tearing our family apart. It was getting too violent and stuff, and I needed help, right? And I asked the divine, and you know, they led me what to do. So, you know, I did this intervention, but I was constantly asking myself, did I do the right thing? Did I not? Whatever. And I'd gotten pulled aside, right? And just by one of my neighbors here, and he was telling me about, you know, started talking about my daughter. I started crying a little bit. I'm like, this is my daughter today, and you know, and he was telling me about how. Or I was telling about how she's up. He was like, what, you had another kid? Because I got 3 of them with me, right? And it's like, you got 4. So I started talking about her and what I was running into. And he was actually telling me about how he was a little defiant, too. And he was the oldest. And how defiant he was. And how he had gotten sent to live with his grandmother and grandparents. And he told me how it was the best thing for him. Like, he just knows that that's what straightened him out. It's what saved his life, and he doesn't resent his mother whatsoever. He was actually getting ready to go see her soon and was excited to visit her, and it had healed their relationship and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, so see, they had aligned me with him just to have him tell me that little bit of a story. I'm like, you don't even know how much that just touched my heart or whatever. By you explaining that story to me, because in my mind I was just like, oh, because in my daughter's mind, like, a bunch of problems were running. Like, she's growing up in the city, and then she got put out into the country, and you know, and everything, and she was kind of isolated. But her being a star child, like, she doesn't understand, like, really that's what she needed, to be away from all these people that were ciphering off of her beautiful energy, and she needed to break from her brothers that kept getting, and I'm still working with them, getting because they're all empathic and absorb everything. I wanted a family of star children. Well, I got it, but I didn't know how hard it was going to be. I was having these gifts and abilities, right? Which is why there needs to be more help for the star children, right? But anyways, so synergy. It's funny too. I've been seeing synergy bands driving by. So anyway, like, yeah, you can come across people to hear a little bit of their story, and it can help you. And so really, like, there's this really big opening up, people really healing people. For a lot of you, you could feel this purging needs to come out, because you see all of these eyes. Like, to me, these are all of these different wounds. A lot of wounds have happened, that these traumatic experiences, you hold on to them in your body. Sometimes you release the emotions enough where you think that they're out of your body, but they get stored in your physical body. So this causes triggers. Like, after some of the abuse that I've had to endure, and some of the nightmares and the fear, like to having my home broken into, like people trying to break in, like I got to where I used to be scared to go to sleep. Any little sound, I would jump up, right? Not to mention some of the traumatic experiences. Like, I used to get to where I couldn't even just like relax. Any loud noise, I would just jump up and I would shake. And you know, I've had to work a lot on healing all of this trauma and facing each of these things, right? To let go. Like I was telling you in this video, where I was scared to walk around, you know, at night. And especially after I get brought home on a date one night, I was scared to death to date people, right? And I know that that's been a big trauma too, because that's why, like, in my previous relationship, I was like, well, we used to be coworkers together. I know him. He's not gonna hurt me. Things like that. Yeah, just because you know somebody, it's so good. Demons in them at work. But I'm not gonna hold that against him, because he didn't even realize that he was being used by the enemy. So, wow. Yeah, a lot of stuff is coming out, and I've got to go. This reading went way longer than I thought. So they kind of really just turned this over into a bunch of channeled messages. But this is somebody that is really, it's really my story is really what it is. We've gotten just a bunch of my little stories strung together. So take it however you feel it fitting, right? I mean, that's a lot of times what I do. I give a lot of channeled messages. A lot of healing comes out as I'm an earth angel with the channel here, right? But death card is here. There is definitely a beautiful transformation that is happening from within, right? So a lot of purging, a lot of cleansing, and things are coming out. There's definitely a paradigm shift too. We've got the 10 of Swords to the 10 of Pentacles. Do you see that? And there were a lot of people that were doing a lot of spiritual warfare and psychic attacks on somebody here. You see each of those hands, and some of them look like children hands and all of those things. People were really messing with somebody's mental mind, right? That's what I mean. A lot of these things might not have even really happened, but the projection, it's like if you're playing games with somebody to try to make them think about you, to try to get them, it's like, if you're going to do stuff or plant stuff, get them to think about you, get them to, like that gaslighting energy, or like if you're taking off and not calling somebody, telling them where they're at, if you're making them feel as though like you're gonna hurt yourself, like I can't tell you how many times that my ex would act like he was going to like be very traumatizing to himself or others, and then not answer the phone call, and just things like that, all of that is just very evil and dangerous and scary, and tears somebody's down, especially somebody that has like abandonment issues. Like if somebody has abandonment issues and fears and is very vulnerable, right? Like I told you, I had a big fear of being alone, and I can't tell you how many times he's left me alone, and we've been in some very scary cities and not some of the safest motels, and constantly, like a lot of narcissists, people embody that narcissist spirit or disorder, whatever you want to call it, and don't realize that they're doing it for control. And in their mind, it could just be like, well, I need to be dominating, I want to feel loved, but they don't realize that they're being, controlled by the devil. Some of them, or just have been very, very dark and not realizing all the trauma and all of the pain and all of those things. And but the good news is, like every single thing is always recorded, and it has to be balanced out. Karma has to be balanced. It's like every single thing that has happened has been recorded, and it has to balance itself out. So that's where you can release and not hold on to any of the stuff that these people have done to you, because know that the universe is but a mirror's reflections. What the universe is, think of it as like a hologram. It really is. Your inner world is a reflection of your outer world, and everything and everyone, and you merge your lives with other people, and you keep creating. Everything's really just as far as you can see until you merge with others, and it keeps going on. But I'm not going to get too deep in this. I probably just lost some of you. But everything is recorded. Everything is overseen, and everything has to balance out. It's the way that the world works, being of laws of attraction, and mirror, and all of that. So a lot of this stuff is purging it, and think as it purges and as it comes up and you release it, it's now no longer having control over you. And for a lot of you, if those things come down, maybe that's when karma comes down for them as well. We're getting ready to hit a huge reset. To me, there's like a big reset button getting ready to get hit for like karma coming down with Libra. The equinox, the eclipses, it's in Libra. And what is it? The 22nd? Master angel number. To me, that's very, very big for divine reset. So a lot of this stuff is like nobody may have known what was really going on. Especially if somebody was internally, like if you're wishing on somebody's downfall, if you're saying things like, I wish they would get sick, I wish they would get hurt, or you're doing spell work. Yeah, with your mind, you are. I mean, when you say it out loud, even when you're gossiping, guys, gossiping is of the devil. It is. If you're not talking of love and light, you ever heard that saying? If you're not saying something nice, don't say anything at all. You shouldn't gossip about people. You shouldn't talk about people. You are creating spells with your words. All of the things that you say to people, it's just going to come right back around to you. So be very mindful of what you say, what you think. Know that if you're having a dark thought, and there's been times I get them in there and I have to say, I didn't mean that, or I'm sorry I felt that way. That was my animal side. That was my shadow side, because we all have a light and a dark side, and that's fine, but you have to learn to control it. Your dark side has been manipulated out of fear and out of control to get people to be devilish and to get you in control. But it's really supposed to be to protect and defend yourself. So that way you feel secure in yourself, where I know that if I need to, take care and be protective of my children, if I need to stand up and have that masculine side, like, no, you're not going to talk to me this way, things like that, then you can, right? But it's just been taken to far extremes and all this stuff. But anyway, all right, I gotta close out this reading. I'm sending love and light to all of you. Definitely feel free to like the video, guys. That does a donation to me by liking the video. It gives me a little bit of your energy, lets me know that it resonated, and I feel that love, right? So comments below, emojis, I love all of it. Any way you want to energetically connect with me. Always check out my description box too. I'm going to start to be using that more to putting like angel numbers and synchronicities and different things. And if I do decide to link other ways to find my other platforms, because in a way I heal my enemies, and that's why I have a way to extract demons out to people too. So I just I don't know, sometimes I felt as though because some of my past people just will not let me go, and I'm tired of them being in my energy. Heal your stuff already. Realize I was a trigger for you. That is why. Let it go. Release me. Let me go. Yes, you had an earth angel in your life, but you know what? It was also to heal you. Now let it go, right? So you can stop missing out on beautiful things in your life if you're overly obsessed and focused on me, because God's got a plan for me. And it's part of my creation, because we are one. You're always one with God. You're never separate. Never. And religion is you can never control how somebody needs to believe in creation and source and everything, but you need to know that religion, when you have to pray away, you're giving yourself an ego. You're separating yourself from God. It's okay, I was trying to look up some numerology or whatever. But what I'm getting at is you separate yourself. And you lower yourself down, and then people put themselves in position. Oh, I'm more. No, oh my gosh, no! You are one with God. You are source energy. You're an extension of God. You're here having an experience for God. You are with God. You are one with God. Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm an eccentric shaman as well. Bye, guys.